So yes, we're going to talk about funding institutional at Universidad de Monterrey. My name is Zsófia Büttel. I am not only covering communities, but I'm also a product manager of funding institutional, funding database, and it's such a pleasure to co-present with Vittorino from Monterrey, and he's going to talk about how they have been using FI at their institution. So I guess it's no news to anyone that every single research project, research-related activity has to be funded by someone. And oftentimes, these funding opportunities come from competitive sources, where researchers have to deal with applications that can be extremely time-consuming. But also what we see, again, no news probably to any of you, that there are major budget cuts introduced at big funders, which means that competition is increasing for those competitive funding opportunities, approval rates are dropping, and also another trend we see with funders that there is a shift from directed funding to more like excellence and impact. So funders want to see societal impact, they want to see results that that benefit society, and this is also like how they put out their funding goals. So funding institutional is a comprehensive funding opportunity database, which helps researchers and institutions efficiently discover relevant funding opportunities and also gain actionable insights into the funding landscape. So we aggregate over 40,000 active and recurring funding opportunities in a searchable database, over 9 million awarded grants, and all of this taken from more than 16,000 funders globally. I also just wanted to highlight that funding institutional is really a one-stop shop for diverse funding sources. So we include in the database various types of funding. So it's not only about project grants, as I mentioned, also all research-related activities will need funding. If a researcher runs out of their institutional travel grants and they want to go to a nice international conference, they also find travel grants in the database. Also, what I really wanted to emphasize that we're not only covering governmental sources. So as I mentioned, we see these major budget cuts for the big government agencies. It's actually just a small part of all the funders that we cover. So in this database, you can find funding opportunities from all like nonprofits, foundations, and also the industry. So it's really a one-stop shop. And with that, I'm actually going to hand over to Vittorino to share their experiences at Monterrey.
Thank you, Sofia, for the introduction. I'm Victorino Sepúlveda from Universidad de Monterrey. I know Victorino is not a common name. Victor is okay if it's too hard. We presented in the morning about impact, and now we're going to talk about funding in Universidad de Monterrey. Some new information is where we are located in the northern part of the country. Last year, we celebrated our 55th anniversary, so we can say we're young compared to other universities in the area. And also we were founded by businessmen and religious congregations. I think this is important because in the next slides we're going to see our impact in different areas, and you can see like the scope compared to the regional and globally. So our research, as we talk, we have roughly around 200 researchers, from different areas. Maybe you see that number, $1.1 million, and it might not be a lot of money for other universities, but it is important that these projects most of them are from the industrial side, working with the industry. So it's research or consultancy projects related to research over the past 3 years. And these projects, we still have one project or two funded by the government. One problem that we have is in Mexico only, we have like 0.16% of the GDP invested to sciences. So that's something that we don't reach 1%, that's like the ideal. Also, we are a private university and the government also limited our resources, so we have to look for other ways and collaborate. As you can see also in the chart, the one here, we had a formal research strategy starting in 2010. In 2010 we had 21 products and now grossly 1,700. So I think we had a great reach, a great impact on how we change things that we do. And also, how do we motivate researchers to look for funding? So if you can see in the table to the right, we have an incentives program that assesses quantitative and qualitative information, and external funding, we gave that like 10 points. So all researchers that bring fund, they get certain points to have economical like price, and also they have time to research. So I think something really useful. In this slide, it's important that some of the research issues, as I mentioned, we come from religious groups, so social responsibility, human rights, and justice is really big for us. And if you see the chart, you can see the impact compared to Mexico. We have a grade in no poverty, justice, gender equality is something we are proud of, and it's our strength. So, and in the left, you can see some. We took this from Cybal. We also have Cybal included in our services, so it's really good to have pure Cybal, but also funding to make like those crosses. I will talk about these crosses in a bit. So this helps us to look for opportunities, because in the past, we were just looking everywhere, every topic. We don't have the time to do that, so we have to really focus our time to be productive. And before going to this, in the past, just a little story. When I started working in Universidad de Monterrey was in 2018. I was just getting out of my master's. I had some experience in research, but not looking for funding. And I was tasked to get funding and grants. And I remember having in my calendar every week, every 2 weeks, just look grants, Mexican grants or European grants. Really time consuming, right? So I was looking for every topic. We didn't have that information, so Pure now gives us the fingerprint. The fingerprint has some limitations, but it's useful. It's really useful. Also with Cybal, we can see topics, clusters, SDGs. The FWCI, I think, is really important. It's not the only way to maybe reach to see where we are better or what we can do better, but it's good. And with that information, what we did is we had some customized trending research areas for our research centers. So what we did is, you can see that big query on the right. I had to cut it because it's more information. But what we did was we took the fingerprint, some topics, and we took some like main words applied to each research center. So each research center can have their opportunities. They are opportunities that Mexicans can apply, or they don't exclude us, apparently. That's another story. But these are in Spanish, but we have business, we have engineering, we have some in health, AI. AI is very big right now, so a lot of opportunities in AI. So basically, this is not that hard. You can get those topics from Cybal, fingerprint from Pure, and just with Excel or Google Sheets, you can build that query by really small formulas. So you just take that, put them in funding, and you will get automated and updated opportunities. And when they leave, they get removed. The new ones appear. So our researcher doesn't have to spend time looking for AI. They just go in there and they look for opportunities that can match. Another good thing about about funding is that we have awarded grants. So this is useful because sometimes we want to collaborate or we want to see what was done in the past, and maybe we can see a university in Merida and got a research grant and we want to work with them. So we can see which researcher won that award, and sometimes we can see the protocol that they sent or the information that they submitted, so it's really useful. In UDEM, we have a program that's called Global Community Professor. I gotta be honest, that is marketing. It was first for marketing because the idea was to bring big names, academics that work in Tesla or academics that work in different industry to get to increase the tuition of the students. But right now with this, we can also, as we did, we invited a professor, a researcher from Penn State University that won multiple awards. He went to Universidad de Monterrey. He gave some webinars for funding, and he is working right now with us to apply for a NSF grant. So he went there, he gave his story and some tips to how to get more funding, so that's really useful. And now we can search in that platform to see who brought the awards, what type of awards, and really use that money better, right? Because we have to pay for the trip and where they live, so it's better like this, you know, you're bringing the right people, right? And, well, I mentioned that you also here, you're having the same with NSF and NIH, less money, right? So, I mean, we having the same problems. We have to look for collaborations. That's why we think this is very important. And this is my last slide. How funding impacted us. First, we have more time to do other things. In the past, I was just looking for grants, maybe spending 2 hours, and at the end saw that we were not eligible. And I was like, okay, this was time wasted. I have to look for another one. With this, now I can filter and see for the big ones, the main ones that we can apply, and just like empower the researchers. You know, like the session that we had in the morning, you have to empower them. And also, in the past, I was more passive. I was just giving them information to apply, maybe giving them some card to apply. In some cases, we are helping them to write some grants. I mean, not many. I hope in the future we can have an office where we have grant writing and more people. And also, we are now making or having workshops. Last year, we had a team building one. It was online to apply to a grant that we won. It was like a challenge in Acapulco because we had a hurricane and we had a lot of problems. We made a team building and then a session to make the grant proposal, and we got that one. And this year, we're working with the government and other 3 or 4 universities, public and private, for the SDG number 2, Zero Hunger. You can see the picture in the right. We got researchers from 4 different universities to present projects and impact locally, because there's a lot of people, well, all over the world have no access to food. But it was to propose projects based on that SDG. So I think the projects still need time to mature. But I mean, now we have time to do this, right? To this time of workshops. Also, we're developing some GPT-based tools to assist researchers. Maybe they can put the idea, and with some templates, they can have some the budget or the Gantt. I mean, they have more time to do the important stuff, not spend time writing. And also, since our region has fewer opportunities and visibility, it is important to see collaboration. So that's why we're here too. If someone wants to work with us and join us, I think we are really happy if you want to collaborate with us. These are different times and hard times. In Mexico, we have a center, Sinvestav. And just when ChatGPT came out, a whole research group got laid off because they were doing something similar. So that's really bad, really sad. But we were talking also 2 months ago or 1 month ago with a Michigan university that they started with mining research. They were mining in the past, and now it's a priority mining because lithium, so they went back. I mean, they abandoned mining, so now mining, so the point I want to give is everything is changing in all the topics. So the good thing is that we have to stay positive and try to make the best of all the possibilities that we have. And well, with this will be my last slide. Thank you.
So actually, we're working together with Vittorino. They are helping us as a development partner to develop our roadmap. So I just also wanted to give you a little sneak peek of what we are working on in Funding Institutional. So we introduced this customizable layer of Funding Institutional when an institution can define those areas of search that are important to them and make them available to their researchers. But further to that, we're improving the search experience, and we are introducing funder recommendations. So when somebody is searching for opportunities, we are also looking through the awarded grants database and look for funders who have a history of funding such research that the researcher is looking for. So also with that, we want to broaden people's views, because it's so important to diversify funding these days, funding sources. Also, we are allowing for more homepage customization, so to really allowing our admin users to highlight their contacts to the researchers who would go directly to the database, to Funding Institutional, to search for funding. And also, we are improving our in-product guidance to really make it super easy to anyone just to quickly onboard. And also, we are expanding further the admin capabilities. So we are making it easier for admins to look for usage of the product so that they can really track engagement. And also, last but not least, something that is always on our roadmap, we're always proactively expanding our content coverage. So even like going beyond furthermore, those 16,000 funders that we cover globally. And with that, I would like to thank you very much for the attention, and we gladly take questions.
Great. Thanks, Vittorino and Sofia.